Stay for the full video to see how the pandemic has impacted my work and how it can help you prepare for working as a graphic designer in 2021. Hello, I'm Jenny Famularo-Cano. Thank you for being a part of my channel where I talk to creative professionals about organizing their ideas. Thank you to the graphic design students at California State University, Long Beach for inspiring this video by asking, how has the pandemic impacted my design work? Quick disclaimer, this is definitely a perspective on how the pandemic has impacted my job and my work, but this is very much from the role that I have at a creative agency as well as working as a teacher working remotely. A lot of different roles might look slightly different depending on where you work and the culture and the people around you, if your work isn't going to be treating you the same. There are still a lot of tips that you can use to find fulfillment in your work as a graphic designer. So these 3 different tips come from very real places and struggles that I've gone through working as a graphic designer this year. And the very first tip that I have is organizing your information. Now, we have experienced a lot of different sources of information, and it can be really difficult trying to identify what information we should be focusing at, what we should be looking at. If we have a number of different responsibilities, it's easy for us to get lost, especially when our workspace and our home space are one and the same. So keeping all of your tasks together has definitely helped me because it helps me understand what my capacity is looking like for a given day. I try not to have too many tasks in a given day. I try to be more realistic on what I can accomplish, and having all of the tasks in one place helped me understand and filter through all of the noise, so I only have to focus on one thing at a time. All of the information that comes from different projects, all of that needs to be filtered through as well. Having everything all in one place might not make sense because you would have to filter through all of the different assets in order to get to the information that you need. So when it comes to projects, I like to keep all of those separate from each other. That just makes everything a lot easier whenever I'm focusing on a certain project, that I have everything that I need just for that project, and then I switch to another project and I have everything there when I need. To check out how I set this system up, check out this video where I have my Notion set up and I talk about how all of my projects are set up using the management tool Notion. Another tip that I have for you is protecting your time. And when you're working from home, your workspace and your living space are one and the same. And that makes it difficult to kind of set boundaries for yourself. And the biggest one of those boundaries has to do with time. If you're really close to your bed, it's very easy to want to take a nap in the middle of the day because it looks so cozy. And sometimes it makes you work well into the evenings. You have less time to take a break. Maybe you're oversleeping, and then the cycle repeats itself when you're kind of taking naps throughout the day. It makes it a little difficult to kind of set yourself up for success when there's no more limitations. There's no 6 o'clock clock out and go home. It's very easy to kind of overstep and work for a lot of time. So it's always best to have some sort of limitations or some boundaries when it comes to your time so that you're able to give yourself the appropriate amount of rest, so you're setting yourself up for success when you come to work the next day. Another thing about protecting your time is being honest about the breaks that you need. I am very strict about my lunch breaks and my dinner breaks. If I don't have these 1-hour breaks from my computer, I tend to be at my desk for hours. I forget to eat. It just becomes an endless cycle of me working. Having that scheduled time for lunch helps me take a break from my computer to blink. It's also a shared time that I have with my partner where we have lunch, we're able to connect, and we can catch like an episode of The Simpsons to just catch up on. Having a very focused break makes me a little bit more effective as an employee and as a worker when I actually do return back to my desk. Another thing when it comes to protecting your time is actually tracking your time. And this is also beneficial in understanding how you would like to bill your time whenever you're working as a freelancer eventually. But tracking your time has its added benefits as well because it helps you understand how long it'll actually take you to complete a task or project. And I use the tool Toggl to track my time, and this has been very useful in helping me understand whether a task will take me 5 minutes or if it will actually take me 45, or if it'll take me an hour. So always having an actual and true data point, even just for yourself, makes it so that you're better equipped and you're well educated on your process. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried to track your time, or if you're willing to try tracking your time just to see how long it would actually take you to do a task. Another tip that I have is communicating often, and this is through adding the appropriate times on my schedule on my calendar to make sure that everyone knows when I'm available and when I am not available. So being very strict about those times. I also have things like Zapier connected to my Toggl so that whenever I'm tracking time to a project, people know when I'm working on a certain project, they're able to reach out and contact me on the project that I'm working on. And that's very helpful as well. Another way that the pandemic has impacted the way I work through communication specifically is it's changed the way I've delivered messages. And because we no longer have the luxury of walking up to someone and having a conversation and hearing the tone, all of our conversations have been moved to Slack or email. And I have changed the way that my messages are formatted so that it's a little bit more direct while providing a lot of information. And this looks like and takes the form of having my question first, that providing any context that might be helpful for helping somebody understand the context of my question. If I was asking a question about a project, I would include screenshots of the project and all of the little information that I would need so that whoever I'm sending it to can be helped along the way. And this makes it so that my question is answered a little bit sooner. It makes it easier for the person to answer the question because the people that you're working with are also juggling a number of different things throughout the day. And for a bonus tip is continue to make connections with your team. This is something that can definitely carry on if in the next year we happen to be able to go back into our workplaces and work together. These are people that you have to depend on for you to know that you can trust them and that they can trust you. So creating those connections are so important. Our agency actually creates a series of games and events for us to stay in contact with within every week. You can check out this video to see how we organize some of those games to create connections with our team. Another way that I've invested in creating connections with my team is making eye contact whenever I am on a Zoom call. The way that I do this is I've actually invested in a teleprompter. If you don't want to invest in a teleprompter, then I encourage you to look directly into the camera of your laptop or camera, because when you're looking at somebody on the screen, you're looking maybe around here. But looking directly in the camera helps show them that you're listening. It just helps you create a little bit more connection, even though we're separated, and is doable. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions that I can answer in a video just like this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!